Can you get a culture shock in Singapore as a Singaporean? My answer is yes. So I've been away from Singapore and have been living in Chiang Mai for 6-7 months now, and I'm back for Chinese New Year. And in the past 1 week, I've experienced quite a lot of culture shocks. So I'll share that with you. And since I'm back in Singapore, I'm obviously eating the national dish, the Hainanese chicken rice, and don't mind me while I eat the chicken rice while talking. Um, Actually, in Thailand, there is also khao mai gai, which is also like chicken rice, but it doesn't come with the soul of the dish, which is the chili sauce. So I'm so glad, right, to be having the chicken rice with this chili sauce, my favorite. Okay, so yeah, in terms of some of the things I observe in Singapore, I think coming back, I really get to see like a different perspective. Coming back, I see Singapore with fresh eyes, right? So a lot of things I probably didn't notice previously. And now that I am kind of slow living, I actually also see that, oh, actually in Singapore, people are also slow living. Previously, I was just like a busy bee, moving from one point A to point B, going from work to gym to back home, and kind of that cycle repeats. But now that I am back in Singapore, actually I see a lot of people are actually quite relaxed, quite chill, you know. Mm. Oh, oh, the chicken rice is very nice. The oil is kind of soaked into the the rice. It's so good. Okay. But anyway, I was saying, um, yeah, like people are, in midday, mid afternoon. Actually, I do see quite a lot of people just walking around. I go to the park connector, right? And then I see people like, just walking their dog at 10 a.m. in the morning and walking their dog. I see people running. I think a lot of the expats somehow seem to like running, so they've been running along the Singapore River. And then I also see like uncle like practicing qigong lah. So actually, there are quite a lot of people who are actually living slow, in Singapore, even though Singapore is a kind of a fast-paced city. So that to me was a bit surprising because that's something that I actually didn't notice previously. Yeah. And then um I don't know, like I do think that actually there are pockets of time where actually people can just slow down even in a kind of busy city like Singapore. Hmm. What do you think? Is it difficult to kind of slow down in Singapore? Or do you think everything is kind of like, too busy and you don't actually get a chance to kind of reset and slow down and kind of enjoy the sights and the sound, right? Now I was actually walking along the park connector, and then actually from here I'm at the kind of Dawson Queenstown area, right? I walk all the way to the Singapore River. You can actually walk all the way to the Asian Civilization Museum. Quite a good walk, There's quite a lot of like, I didn't notice previously, right? Like there's quite a lot of like big trees. It's like kind of shady because there are quite a lot of trees along the road, and you see different sites like you walk along the Singapore River also. So yeah, it is actually quite scenic if you take the time to slow down and just go for a walk or a jog. Actually, it can be quite relaxing. Hmm. And then what I noticed also, um, on the contrary, the bad side of things is that of course the weather is really kind of hot and humid. That in Chiang Mai is actually quite dry. So you know the humidity is really something that I don't like. I forgot that actually Singapore is can be so humid. I went for a run. The sweat doesn't evaporate. Just you know, it's just on the skin. Like you can see the layer of sweat on the skin after after a jog, which is something that I was, you know, I mean I probably forgot lah. Obviously that happens every time, but I forgot. So yes, Singapore weather is not the best lah, in my opinion. Um, so people go to the mall, and then when people go to the mall, so everyone goes to the mall, right? I was a little bit uh, shocked and really overwhelmed by how crowded the shopping malls are. And the aircon is very strong, by the way, in the mall. The aircon is like so super strong. So it's super hot outside, and then you go to the mall, it's super cold. um, that to me was really quite big contrast, and I was thinking maybe I will fall sick. I don't know, seems like a huge contrast, and the malls are like so crowded. I went to Jam, I went to Jurong Point. Wow, so crowded, you know, like yeah, it's something I need to get used to after coming back. I'm like, oh, why is there so many people? It's so noisy. Like people are just queuing for things. Okay lah, I mean, yeah, I kind of forgot that there's this like overcrowding issue in Singapore, and yeah, I was a little bit like kind of need to adjust back to this city with like I think 6 or 7 million people now, right? I can't remember, but yeah, quite a lot with like kind of densely populated city. Yeah, it was really quite crowded, and actually the thing that kind of struck me the most, you know, is the pollution, the noise pollution and the light pollution. Just actually like, you know, like in when I was in Chiang Mai, it was quite quiet. Like I go to the nature, I go to the parks, I go to waterfalls, and there's not just not a lot of like traffic or people. But like in back here, you know, there is actually quite a lot of definitely a lot of lights. You know why? You know, you see it outside, right? There's quite a lot of like HDB flats. At night they don't off the lights, so so it can be quite bright at night. So you have to have like um, blackout curtains. If not, you know, I think I cannot sleep. I'm quite sensitive to light. So yeah, if there is no blackout curtain, I probably will not be able to sleep because of the light pollution. I think there's noise pollution also, but not as bad as Bangkok, because I went from Chiang Mai to Bangkok first before coming to Singapore. I went to Bangkok for 1 day, and I was like, I cannot take it. It's really very noisy in Bangkok. The traffic, the people, uh, yeah, just quite noisy and chaotic lah. But Singapore a little bit better than Bangkok, but definitely, you know, because I have been in Chiang Mai for 7 months, right? To me, I still feel that it is actually quite noisy back here. No, the chicken rice in Singapore, the chicken is quite tender, which is why it's probably known worldwide. Mm, very nice. By the way, I'm drinking teh tarik, very nice. Um, Yesterday I had teh halia, today I have teh tarik. I think it pairs with better with the chicken rice. Yeah, you know, the uncle really tarik this day, so quite rare. because I think normally they just like anyhow, right? This one is really quite good. Mm. I think one thing is, if you go overseas for a kind of period of time, extended period of time, when you come back, right? Actually, there are things that you really see with like fresh eyes. You get a different perspective. Uh, Sometimes I think you appreciate Singapore also more, uh, especially the efficiency, the 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 way things just work, right? I mean, today is actually like day two of Chinese New Year. I still managed to get chicken rice, at the hawker center. So everything works, but that also means like people are still working on Chinese New Year day two, uh, which I don't know is probably why some people want to leave Singapore. But yeah, like I mean, the way things just work, is efficient. I mean, I kind of miss how kind of efficient it is. Even like this data rate, right? That I asked the uncle how much, he say 1.6. I'm like, okay. He didn't even bother to say 160, just 1.6. Okay, fine. But yeah, it is very Singaporean, I think. There's something that probably I wouldn't notice, like 6 7 months ago, but now that I'm back, I think that different kind of experience outside of Singapore, you kind of see Singapore a little bit differently. Yeah. So I think one other thing I noticed is that actually the food in Singapore is quite salty. So when I was craving quite a lot of food, Singapore food, when I am like, actually I know I wasn't actually I wasn't craving much Singapore food, to be honest, when I was in Chiang Mai, because actually Thai food is also very nice. So I wasn't craving much, but since I was coming back to Singapore, I was like, okay, then I actually made a list of things I want to eat. and and I made a list that includes like, things like ban mian lah, fish soup lah, bak chor mee lah, chicken rice min jiang kueh all that, right? And then I actually went to eat the like all of this. And I find actually the food is actually quite salty, like it like previously I didn't notice that actually it is actually salty. I feel like my taste buds actually change. Maybe my taste bud also retire. But yeah, like I suddenly realized, oh, actually the food is quite salty in Singapore. Like compared to Thai food, like when I eat, of course the Thai food, if you go for like the street food, actually they put quite a lot of MSG also, and sometimes the drinks are on the sweeter side if you don't ask them to reduce sugar. But I don't know, I think the sweet and no, the spicy and sour taste, maybe just refresh my taste buds. So now I find the the food in Singapore quite salty. And actually, especially the ones with soup, that's quite salty. That's very salty. So please be careful. Don't eat too much of those soupy stuff. I think like it is actually quite salty. I saw also on the trains. I saw like HPV poster to ask people to reduce sodium consumption, reduce salt consumption. I see, cases of kidney dialysis centers, right? I see cases of kidney failure increasing and dialysis centers opening up. I think that of course, like the salt is one of the root cause. So do take note of your health. Do realize, I mean, like, yeah, I know probably if you are used to the kind of food, right, in Singapore, you probably don't notice actually the food is quite salty. So my observation really is it is quite salty, like especially those with soup. So try to, reduce. Yeah. So those are my observations coming back to Singapore. What about you? If you go on holiday and you come back, or if you are on extended, trips outside of Singapore, when you come back, do you find any difference? Do you see like things with different perspective, anything that shock you? Do let me know in the comment section below. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.